You're in the middle of saying something, and someone cuts you off. Not once. Regularly. You finish your sentence anyway. But no one's really listening anymore. That moment isn't random. You tell yourself it's them. They're rude. They don't care. But here's what you're not seeing. It's happening because of something you do in the first 5 seconds. Let me show you what I mean. You're at dinner with friends. Someone asks a question. You start to answer. But before you get to the point, you say something like, "Oh, I'm not sure if this makes sense, but..." Or, "This might be wrong, but I think..." Or, "I don't know, maybe it's just me." You think you're being humble. Relatable. Not arrogant. But what you've actually done is told everyone in the room that what you're about to say doesn't matter. And they believe you. Here's the thing. People decide whether to listen to you in the first few seconds. Not based on what you say. Based on how you frame it. When you apologize before you speak, you're sending a signal. You're saying, "This probably isn't worth your attention." And the listener's brain does something automatic. It deprioritizes you. Not consciously. Not meanly. It just stops paying full attention. Because you told it to. This is called a credibility qualifier. It's when you weaken your own message before you've even delivered it. And most people who do this have no idea they're doing it. They think they're being polite, thoughtful, self-aware. But socially, it reads as insecurity. And insecurity, even when it's polite, makes people tune out. Now, I'm not saying you need to be loud or aggressive. You don't need to dominate the room. But you do need to stop undermining yourself in the opening line. Because once you do that, it doesn't matter how smart or funny or insightful the rest of your sentence is. You've already lost them. Let me give you an example. 2 people say the exact same thing. Person 1, "I'm not sure if this is relevant, but I read that most productivity advice ignores the role of sleep." Person 2, "Most productivity advice ignores the role of sleep." Same idea. Same information. But the second person gets taken seriously. The first person gets a polite nod. Maybe. Because the first person told you not to take them seriously. And you didn't. Here's what happens if you keep doing this. You stop getting invited into deeper conversations. People stop asking your opinion. Not because they don't like you, but because they've learned that engaging with you doesn't feel worth the effort. You've trained them. And over time, you start to notice it. You feel invisible. Talked over. Dismissed. And the worst part? You think it's about you. Your personality. Your value. But it's not. It's about the way you enter a conversation. So how do you stop? It's simpler than you think. Step 1. Notice when you're about to do it. Before you speak, listen to the voice in your head. If it's saying, "I'm not sure if this is right," or "This might sound dumb," pause. Don't say that part out loud. Just start with your actual point. Step 2. Practice saying one sentence without a disclaimer. Just one. You don't have to change your whole personality. You don't need to become someone you're not. Just say the thing you were going to say. Without apologizing for it first. It's going to feel weird. It might even feel rude. Because you're used to softening everything you say. But here's the truth. Confidence isn't about being louder. It's about not talking yourself out of being heard. Let me be clear. I'm not telling you to be arrogant. I'm not telling you to ignore other people or act like you know everything. You can still be kind, thoughtful, open to being wrong. But you can do all of that without pre-apologizing for existing in the conversation. Because when you stop doing that, something changes. People start to listen. Not because you're louder. Not because you're more interesting. But because you've stopped telling them not to. And here's the part no one talks about. Once people start listening to you, you start listening to yourself differently too. You start to believe that what you have to say actually matters. Not in an inflated way. Just in a quiet, steady way. And that changes everything. So the next time you're about to speak, pay attention. Notice the urge to soften it. To qualify it. To apologize for it. And then don't. Just say the thing. And see what happens. You might be surprised. Not by how people react, but by how different you feel when you finally let yourself be heard.